Welcome to Jump Carrot TV. I'm your host, Brother B. Today, we're going to talk about traveling out of the U.S. if you're a green card holder. My advice is if you don't have to travel, do not. And I'm saying this because a group of us went to Jamaica recently, and I'm a U.S. citizen, so I went to the citizen line, and three of them were just green card holders, and they have traveled multiple times. Most of them are in the U.S. for more than 5 years, so they have traveled multiple times. But this time, um, when we were coming back, I noticed that the line that says citizen, it goes to a different place, and the line that says visitors and green card holder goes to a different place. In the past, we're pretty much kind of heading the same direction, and then when you get to the place where you present your documents, then that's when you see the section for U.S. citizens and the different section for green card holders and visitors. Except that this time it looked different. Citizens head to a different area, green card holders and visitors went to a different area. Anyway, it was about 10 of us. And we noticed that, 9 of us were there, except one person just wasn't coming out. So we hung around for almost an hour. And our driver, had to keep circling the airport because, you can't sit, there for a while before either a parking attendant or the police is going to come and chase you off or you're going to get a ticket. So we waited for almost an hour. And that's when we saw him coming. And what he said he went through was just terrifying. He said they asked him all sorts of questions, things that he just wasn't expecting. Where is he coming from? Which is normal, but there's always a pleasant way to say it. A lot of people would say, what was the purpose of your travel or stuff like that, but they weren't pleasant. They're more like, coming off rude and stuff like that. So he said at some point he panicked because they were asking him all kind of questions, and he didn't understand, why. He said it felt like harassment. But little did we know that even if you have a green card, and I'm learning myself because I was reading up on some stuff today just to make sure I have the knowledge before, I picked this topic. But if you read these immigration laws, you will see there are many ways that they can revoke your green card, many ways that you would never think possible. And I'm telling you, it's really frightening that we were waiting so long. We thought that he probably did something, and they're holding on to him for that. But that was not the case. They were just digging into stuff. And he said he felt like he was being harassed. So my advice to you is you got to weigh your option. How important is it for you to travel right now? Think about it. If you don't have to travel, just don't. Things that they're asking you are similar to things that you would be asked if you appear at an immigration interview. They're looking into stuff like how long, you were out the country, your financial background. Are you working? Are you paying taxes? Those are the kind of questions they were asking him. How did you get your green card? Whether or not is by marriage or how. They just asking a lot of questions. And one thing I learned during my research is that one wrong answer could be reason for them to revoke your green card. And I'm like, wow. So these are the things that some of us really don't know. And that's why I'm saying we're jumping on these plane and we're traveling and we're doing this and we're not understanding the rules. But these are important things that we need to know. Because when you get back to the airport, you need to understand the process. They're very nice immigration officers who will say, welcome back. And then you may get one who is just totally the opposite. So you have to be prepared just in case you run into someone who is just not going to be that pleasant. If you're just seeking a green card, the interviews are getting tougher. They're now looking at and asking questions such as, how long did you know each other before you got married? Yeah, if you just met someone and you get married quickly, that's a red flag. Obviously, no love at first sight. You pretty much have to be dating for a while. You're going to have to have ties together, such as I've seen couples who they have separate bank accounts. That's a red flag. A very big one is, if you're residing in different places, what would make a husband and a wife live in separate places? That's a very big red flag. What did you eat for dinner Sunday? There are people who, give totally different answers. Like, a person would say, oh, I had rice and peas and chicken. And then the American spouse would say, well, I had spaghetti and meatballs. You see how this is going to make you look terrible? Yeah. In what drawer does your spouse keep his or her underwear? Yeah. What side of the bed you sleep on? Those are the kind of questions you have to be prepared. They're getting tougher. And another thing is they'll schedule multiple interviews. In the past, you probably will go to an interview and you get the green card right away. Now, they're scheduling more interviews, especially, when there are doubts, because they're going to try to break through whatever their suspicion is. Another important thing that you should all know is that when you are a green card holder, you need to have valid documentation, driver's license, passport, valid ID. And they want to see that you're employed and you're paying taxes. You have to be productive in this country. They're looking for stuff like that. So you have to understand the terms and conditions that you have agreed to. A lot of us don't read that stuff. And It come back to haunt us later because we don't understand these things. Now, also, citizenship now, is becoming a problem. Now they have in the Supreme Court birthright citizenship. Now, whether or not it's green card or citizenship, citizenship is probably a little easier when you're filing for it. But don't go at these things alone. Get an attorney. Invest in an attorney. This is important. This is your life. Why not treat this thing as if, it's a one shot? So you hire credible attorney and that's how you approach immigration situations. Don't go at it alone. Now, birthright citizenship is being challenged. Basically, at minimum, one parent has to be a US citizen or a legal resident. That's what they're trying to get to. So if neither of your parent is a citizen or a legal resident, you're not going to be considered an American citizen. So that's where they're trying to go with this. So understand, you have to be aware as to what is going on. Some of us, might just be living and don't think it will affect you one day, but it may just. So make sure you secure yourself. Now, in the past, and I think it's still to date, once you become a U.S. citizen, it was almost impossible to revoke it. It still is, but there's one thing, or there are a few things, that the list is not exclusive, that could jeopardize your citizenship, and it's fraud. If you put misleading information on your application or your lie, and they later discover that's what you did, that is grounds that they could revoke your citizenship. There's not too many ways they can do it, but I discovered that that's a way. If you lie about, lie on your application and you obtain and receive your naturalized citizenship, that could be a problem later. It's still very difficult to revoke your citizenship. So if you're a green card holder, I'm going to tell you, truthfully apply for your U.S. citizenship. That's the way to secure your place in this country. Do not lie on the application. Just be truthful and do it the right way and try to make yourself secure. So for now, that's going to be it. I think everyone should get an attorney and find out the legal status of your immigration situation and get legal advice before you start traveling and doing all kind of stuff. And that's the way you should go because they're the experts. So once again, until then, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when new contents come out, you'll be the first to know. Until then, peace out.